the play fake. Towards the end zone. Down the middle. Deep. One-handed catch. How in the world?
You have to be kidding me. That is impossible. That is absolutely impossible what he just did. That may be the greatest catch I've ever seen in my life.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
Wonderful, bro. Wonderful. How about yourself?
Hey, not bad at all. Welcome to Destination Fantasy Podcast, Week 7 to get you ready this morning. Speaking of which, let's recap Thursday's night's game here. We had the Giants and Eagles. Me, myself, I had some implications in this game. In our main league, at the last minute, based on the limited options we had, I had to play the Giants defense.
Oh, wow.
And I was feeling pretty good because I went to bed early after Carson went through that pick. I'm like, hey, I might be in good shape. Next thing I know, I wake up, the Giants end up losing the game, and Carson Wentz looks like he balled out on me. So, yeah, what's your thoughts on this game?
Man, first let's start with Danny Dimes, man, and what he did. You know, so I guess he had like the highest like miles per hour run other than any quarterback, even higher than Lamar Jackson. I think he was like running like 22 miles an hour. Like I don't know what happened, but like it like turns into like so many memes, bro. To win like like they had like wrestling memes about it and like things of that nature. But man, like that was like the biggest takeaway for me. That was a game I truly didn't want any part of. And just like you, man, I started the Giants defense in one of my leagues, considering how poorly Philly has been playing, you know. So I mean that I felt pretty good about it as well with that INT. But at the same time, I woke up the next morning and to the tune of 2 points, and I'm like, you know. So that was definitely a gamble on my part, you know. But it's, you know, that was like the best that I can come up with, man. So
yeah, likewise. So I guess me and you was on the same boat on that one. Went to bed feeling decent. Wake up like, okay, all right. I see. Yeah, Carson Wentz definitely did his thing. I think we had like 27.2 fantasy points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know we picked Fulgham as our pick for Thursday to have a good game. And the crazy thing about it, I think he had like 3 or 4 end zone targets and just couldn't come up with it. So I feel like we wasn't far off. It just couldn't get it done in that regard. Deshaun Jackson with that injury, did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so this man got tackled and then like kind of rolled over like a corkscrew, and then somebody landed on him on his leg. He couldn't put any weight. It's looking like a high ankle sprain. Don't know if he's gonna be out multiple weeks. It might be to the point where I don't even know if he's coming back this year or not. But I mean,
I would definitely steer clear of him, and man, just any other receiver on that team. You know what? You got to tip your hat to Carson Wentz, though, considering like his team has been like no one's been there, but he hasn't made excuses. He still went out there and did his thing, and he's been losing close games for like the past couple of weeks, man. Almost had that game in Baltimore, played Pittsburgh very well. So man, Carson Wentz you cannot criticize him a little bit too much. Miles Sanders hasn't been there, Zach Ertz out, Alshon Jeffrey out, Dallas Goedert out. I mean, dude, I think even Lane Johnson was out at a point. They had so many holes missing on that team, and Carson Wentz still not out there making excuses. You can't, criticize his toughness. That's for sure.
Yeah, facts, man. Facts. All right, so with that being said, all right, we're going to get into some news and injury report stuff really quick. Biggest news that happened this week, matter of fact, a couple of days ago, I'm pretty sure you know and everybody knows by now, your former boy Antonio Brown signing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, my gosh.
Man, I'm going to definitely ask you what you think about it, but this is my opinion on it.
Okay.
I guess just from a football standpoint, then I get into a fantasy standpoint. for the Bucks, I feel like it's low risk, very high reward because they like right now they're already Super Bowl contenders, and adding him is just add like when Antonio Brown was playing, he was the best wide receiver in the league, especially productivity wise, not even close. And so you have that aspect. You add depth to a roster that's been banged up on offense. Like Tom Brady has not had his full set of weapons healthy all year. And at times you have Mike Evans banged up, Chris Godwin out a couple of games, Scotty Miller, OJ Howard done for the year. The list goes on. Leonard Fournette, the list goes on and on. Brady has rapport with Antonio Brown from last year. In that one game, I think he had like 3 catches and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
He was Brady's best receiver all last year for that one game. And they got Super Bowl aspirations, like I mentioned earlier. So that's from a football standpoint. From a fantasy standpoint, I mean, he wouldn't be able to play until at the soonest week 9. So I mean, we still got 2 more weeks here.
Yep.
You know, because me personally, I in all the leagues all 5 leagues that I'm in, I did pick him up. It's Antonio Brown. So just like it's low risk, very high reward for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an organization, it's definitely low risk depending on your situation and can be a very high reward as well. Because, I mean, we already know Mike Evans is elite, football player and fantasy player. I know his production is a little down, but he's been finding the end zone. Chris Godwin has elite upside as a fantasy player. He's a really good football player in real life. You add Antonio Brown to the mix. I mean, I can see him, cracking the top 25 every week as far as wide receivers. And, there could be moments where he is a solid wide receiver too and could ultimately, finish being a top 10 wide receiver for your week, any given week. That's the upside that he brings to that team. But yeah, it's just more so a wait and see approach and see what happens. I'm sure he's already gone in like basically every league by now. But if you do have him, just see what happens here. As like I said, in my situation, it's definitely low risk and very high reward across the board.
And I mean, I guess I want to say mine is pretty much I kind of feel like how you do, but man, like let's take a second and just like talk about that offense. Like, man, why though? Like, why? Like, to me, from a fantasy perspective, the wide receivers to start up on a day-to-day basis, man, like it's gonna get kind of murky because you got Antonio Brown, who no doubt about it is the best wide receiver of the decade. So that upside is there. I have no doubt that he will get back to the same Antonio Brown that he has been, mindset and all. So it's man, that one is really, really tough for me. You got Godwin, you got Mike Evans, who was already one of the top tandems, and you add Antonio Brown into the mix. Gronk just came off of his best game of the season last week. And then, I mean, we didn't even get into like the backfield. Rojo been balling. Fournette is back healthy again. So it's like, like they're really looking like they can compete with like a Chiefs, like a football team like that. It's been, I can't even like fathom these two teams right now. That's so much star power that they have. And to be completely honest, man, I would play all of those guys. Like, why not? You know what I mean? I mean, it's really, really tough. I didn't think that they would land him. And coming from a Steelers fan, I don't think that I can root for him now, considering that my brother is now a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. If he would have went to Seattle, I would have definitely, rooted for him with my man Russ. But I'm happy for AD, gets to provide for his family, yada yada yada. So hopefully he does his thing, man. I'm glad he got a second chance, or third for that matter.
Man, no, I was with you. It was like, heavily favored that he was going to end up in Seattle because Russ been like campaigning for him the whole time. But I mean, I guess that Tom Brady effect, like once again,
he was heavily involved in the process of getting AB down there, man. So wow,
facts. I think it was if anything, I think it was a move to actually keep up with Kansas City, just because of them getting Le'Veon Bell last week.
Well, they nailed that. They definitely nailed that.
So yeah, we might see Thanos against the Avengers here at the Super Bowl. So yeah, hey, it's exciting. So definitely keep a lookout to see what Antonio Brown will do going forward. All right. And then also speaking of Le'Veon Bell, he makes his debut today with the Kansas City Chiefs as they go to Mile High Stadium against the Denver Broncos. How I feel about it, yeah, I would take the wait and see approach. I feel like you're gonna see a lot of Clyde Edwards-Helaire today. I feel like Le'Veon Bell would be the change of pace back. I feel like the split would definitely heavily favor CEH. I think. But what I will say this, I feel like when Bell is in the game, based on, the weapons that's at the Chiefs' disposal, I feel like he will be effective in this limited time. But, going forward, I feel like it might even out. But I feel like today it's going to be a CEH type day overall.
I think so, man. I'm with you on that, and it's funny. CEH has been relatively quiet until the game in which he heard that Le'Veon Bell is coming, and he flat out balled though. Like, to be completely honest, right? Like, he had a heck of a game on the ground. The only thing, I don't think he punched one in. No. He did not score a touchdown in that game, but from a yard per carry average, I think he was averaging like 9 yards per carry in that game. It was like something like
it was insane.
Yeah,
like I kid you not. I was watching the game, like I was about to give you a call and tell you, like, hey, we can suit up and rush 100 yards against this Bills defense that day. Dude, them hoes was gaping like Moses came down and parted the sea, man. It was that bad against Buffalo.
Yeah, so I know I've said before, I think that they can have a similar approach to what Cleveland has done in their backfield with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. I think it can be like, again, I would prefer everyone to take the wait and see approach, like you said, like make sure, like, let's see exactly what Le'Veon's role is in this offense, how they'll utilize them. But at the same time, when you have two good backs on the team, I'm quite sure that they're going to try to find plays designed to get both of them the football.
Absolutely. And so it's definitely going to be exciting to watch. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that game later on. Other news is kind of COVID related. Emmanuel Sanders, I think we found out on Friday that he got put on the COVID list. He actually tested positive. I think no one else did from New Orleans, so he's out for today. And then also basically the whole tight end core, I think except for Tyler Kroft, has COVID and they're out. So that, I mean, this has been a crazy year and that's a wacky scenario there. So yeah, that's the year. That's the time that we living in, people. So I'm not saying that you'll probably start any of those guys, but just FYI, just,
right.
Things can get crazy. And as far as the injury report here, so I know I mentioned Emmanuel Sanders out. Michael Thomas is also officially out. So Drew Brees is definitely working with a limited cast there today. Joe Mixon, he got hurt last week. He came back in the game, but I guess maybe adrenaline was the reason why he came back in the game, because he's out today as well. John Brown is out. So Aaron Jones, and he's a game time decision, and I'll get into that with Joe Mixon here in a bit. Jamison Crowder, doubtful. I don't think he's playing today.
Yes, that one hurt me, bro. That one definitely hurt me.
Understood. Julio Jones, Hopkins, Justin Jackson, Noah Fant expected to play. All right, so these running backs here. Joe Mixon out. So Gio Bernard, I feel like anytime that Joe Mixon's been out, Gio Bernard has stepped up and actually had good games. What's your take on that one?
Pretty much the same, man. So Gio Bernard has been that change of pace back, right? Like the shifty back, the more so receiving back. I think he'll be a pretty good play this week. I'm actually playing him this week in a couple of leagues that I have Joe Mixon out. I think he'll fare well. You got to pay attention to like the matchup as well. I think this will be a higher scoring affair and gives Gio Bernard a little bit more opportunity to punch one or maybe two in. Like, so we don't know. He's a good pass catching back. So he's definitely more effective in a PPR league other than a standard format league. Right. So I'm definitely giving Gio Bernard a go at my flex position today.
Hey, I don't blame you at all. I mean, he's been there forever. He knows the system. He's actually a captain on the team as well. So yeah, I feel like he should definitely have a good game. And then Aaron Jones. So it's a sticky situation that needs to be monitored. Aaron Jones wants to play. Packers trying to be cautious here.
Rightfully so.
And don't want him to play. So definitely monitor this. If he doesn't play, Jamal Williams and AJ Dillon definitely get some uptick here. Jamal Williams, feel like he's in his change of pace role has been. I feel like he's been solid. AJ Dillon, I know Matt LaFleur. He coveted this guy. He likes him a lot. So yeah, that can be an interesting situation. Especially since the Packers have limited weapons to begin with all the way around. So definitely keep an eye on that. How do you feel about the situation?
I feel like this situation is similar to the Gio Bernard situation. You got a guy in Jamal Williams who's been there for a little bit, understands the system, and whenever Aaron Jones is out, he kind of performs well. Again, he's a great pass catching back, just like Gio Bernard. These guys, I think if Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones doesn't play, I think both of these backups are serviceable. Now, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Gio Bernard in this one, considering that AJ Dillon is an up and coming back on that team. I'm not sure how that split is going to go, even though I think that Jamal Williams is the better back out of the two at this time. But AJ Dillon is definitely someone very, very solid. I don't think that Bernard has much in terms of competition up on the team. So that's why I would probably roll with Bernard over Williams. Now, granted, both of these guys, I predict if the starters don't play, I think they'll both have pretty good games.
I definitely agree with you there, sir. All right. So, before we get into today's matchups, we are going to, I guess, take an update on how our fantasy teams are doing. All right, so in my 5 leagues, that 5-1, that's actually the 16-teamer right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm very excited on that one. 4-2 in the main league. I lost by 1 point to LexCorp. I'm heated on that one. 4-2, 4-2, and 2-4. On your end, 5-1, 4-2, 4-2, 2-4, and 1-5 in the main league.
Yeah, that 1-5 is rough, man. Like that one loss last week, it really, really hurt me. Again, if I do lose again this week and I go 1-6, like it's waters are really, really murky there. So hopefully I'll be able to turn this thing around and quickly. I'm not even really too much concerned about the 2-4 league. I think I can still compete in that one, but it's just definitely like the main league that we're in, man. This is uncharted waters for me. But hey, man, you got to keep pushing and play the guys who I have available. And speaking of, this is my matchup again this week. Man, I played Keelan today, and Keelan looks like he's in a similar situation. We are in 2 much needed must-win games for both of us to maintain relevancy inside of this league. I like my matchups from a perspective, but what really hurt me is. Let me take a look there. Well, Evan Ingram did fairly well. He did better than what I would predict. He hasn't been who he should be. But other than that, I like the rest of my matchups across the board. Again, like I was saying, that's why I plugged in Gio Bernard at my flex spot in this league. I think he should perform very well. Zeke got to get it together, man. Coming off of a game where he fumbled 2 times, like that was on him. It was like solely on him, man. So he definitely has to get it together to be the Zeke of old, considering that.
Man, he looked like he's stealing money out there from Jerry Jones last week. Like you a fraud right now.
Yeah, so I mean, he doesn't look the part. like not at all. So, but other than that, I kind of like my matchups. Again, this is a game that worries me, just like last week. Keelan has a pretty okay team, and I'm kind of worried, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and one thing I did forget to mention, Sam Darnold, he is expected to play today, so yeah, you'll definitely get a dose of Mr. Darnold there. You know, he definitely has players. His wide receivers definitely have. Matter of fact, his pass catchers in general have upside today
for sure.
Running backs, wild cards, but I mean they have actually favorable matchups. So we'll see. Yeah, your boy Zeke needs to show up, man.
Yes, he does. I need him.
Yeah, keep maybe out on him, like get an Amber Alert or something. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully you can get the dub here. Today I'm going against Woody. Matter of fact, shout out to Woody. You know Woody actually has a podcast called the Woody and Tommy Podcast.
Yep. I checked it out a couple times.
Yeah, it's very entertaining. Talk about everything. So I definitely give that a listen as well. All right. So with that being said, me having the Giants and I went against Carson Wentz, that was a double whammy for me. But with that being said, I mean projections have me heavily favored. I think that's because he still has Jamison Crowder in there. I'm not going to text him or anything to tell him to switch his lineup. But also at the same time, just looking at his bench, I've been looking at it all week. He is depleted right now with bye weeks and injuries. He is depleted. So yeah, this is basically what he has, unless he's gonna drop somebody valuable for a flex spot right now. But no, he definitely has a couple of guys that has some interesting matchups that can definitely put up some points here, like the Gardner Minshew, this Raiders matchup right here with Tampa. On my end, I may benefit for Drew Brees not having his wide receivers out there with Kamara. But once again, the players got to go out there and play, and hopefully I'm on the better side of things this week. And just to show the full standings here really quick. So me and you are in two different divisions. I believe, yeah. So LexCorp is running away right now. It's lost by 1 point. That I'm still upset about that.
Rightfully so, man. That is a tough loss. But hey, man, it's short-term memory out here.
Yeah, you just got to keep it moving. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, basically everybody is still in playoff contention across the board. So these next 4 to 5 weeks is definitely going to shape out the playoff matchups here and scenarios. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. All right. So with that being said, all right, let's get into some key matchups today. All right, we're going to have Cleveland and Cincinnati here. All right, I am going to take Cleveland side.
Okay.
All right, so as you remember, I believe these two teams met in week 3. I want to say week 3. Could be week 4, week 3, week 4, one of them. But anyway, Cleveland won the game. But that's the night we found out that what's his name? Joe Burrow was not the worst quarterback in the division.
Right.
That'd be Baker Mayfield. So this is a easier matchup for Baker. Last week was tough against Pittsburgh. This week, I mean, I feel like he can definitely be played in 2 quarterback leagues. I feel like he has a top 12 upside today against Cincinnati. DFS tournament play. I mean, why not? Because his weapons also has favorable matchups. Kareem Hunt, tough going last week again. I mean, it was Pittsburgh. However, Cincinnati is, I believe, ranked in the middle of the pack as far as fantasy against fantasy running backs is concerned. Kareem Hunt, I'm going to continue to say this. I feel like he has top 5 upside going forward. So you definitely starting him. OBJ, you're playing him. Jarvis Landry, you're playing him. Especially with Austin Hooper, I believe he's out as well. Even Rashard Higgins, I feel like in deeper leagues he has value here today. So I definitely like the pass catchers. Definitely like Kareem Hunt. Basically, I kind of like the whole Cleveland Browns offense today.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you on that, man. And again, I mean, I think I'm like you. I think this one is going to like play with like a lot of. I think like a lot of points are going to be made up in this game right here. I think Joe Burrow, this will be a very good game for him. So if you have, like other options, like go ahead and play Joe Burrow in this scenario. I want to spend some time to talk about T. Higgins. Okay, so he seems like he's been the one that's been pushing AJ Green out of like the spotlight alongside Tyler Boyd there. Mm-hmm. So I like him in deeper leagues, like again, like the 16-team leagues that you're in, the 12-team league, 14-teamers, things of that nature. But you're definitely going to start. Gio Bernard is a great flex play that Joe Mixon is out. Joe Burrow is a pretty good start, as well as Tyler Boyd can give you wide receiver 2 numbers here in this game. So I think out of that mix, I think these is like the 4 guys that you want to definitely play. Definitely staying away from AJ Green until he produces a little bit more of a consistent stat line.
Hey, understood. So all in all, this has potential to be a very fantasy friendly game here. So definitely, if you got the players, play them. Next matchup here, Detroit at Atlanta. As far as Detroit is concerned, I feel like Matthew Stafford has been steady this year. So once again, against Atlanta, he definitely has QB1 upside today. So if you got him, play him. Unless you got better options, DFS, I'm definitely playing him. And a couple of lineups myself. The running back situation is I find it very interesting and sad for Kerryon Johnson,
right?
Because with the addition of Adrian Peterson, it's it's basically. I mean, Detroit already has a running back by committee mindset to begin with. Mm-hmm. And so when you add that to the fold, it's like, somebody is going to be the odd man out. Back a few years ago, I mean, Reggie Bush, and I can't think of his name, Jacquees Bell. And so, Theo Riddick was, the pass catching guy, third down guy. So you already knew his role. The other ones was just basically complementing each other. This here, it's basically turned into Adrian Peterson and DeAndre Swift. And Kerryon Johnson is like the odd man out. And the crazy thing is he has so much talent. I actually liked that guy when he first got in the league. Right. And now he's fantasy irrelevant. Swift, I feel like, is a strong flex play here. Atlanta defense is just poor across the board. Golladay, I feel like he can honestly be the number 1 wide receiver this week. Against that secondary, I believe they're the third worst against wide receivers right now. But as we know, that they can definitely wide receivers can definitely have big games against them. And with Galladay's deep threat ability, I feel like he can definitely end up being the number 1 wide receiver finishing this week. Marvin Jones, I feel like he has upside today as well. I feel like he's a solid wide receiver too, maybe low end on that regard.
Okay.
Even TJ Hawkinson has value today. So I like all pass catchers against Atlanta.
So taking the Atlanta side, you're definitely going to start Ridley. You're definitely going to start Julio Jones, who is now healthy. He does not carry an injury designation. So, and you're going to play Matty Ice. Those are the guys that you're going to play. Ty Gurley, go ahead and fire him up in this game. I think he'll be a little I think he'll find Pater. I think he'll salvage the day with a touchdown enough to where you could go ahead and plug him in at maybe the RB2 position for sure. Hayden Hurst, Detroit has been pretty solid against tight ends this year, believe it or not. But I think that he can be serviceable in a depleted like tight end position. Tight ends have been in position as has just been banged up, hasn't been able to produce this year. So if you have a tight end that's on a bye or an injured tight end, go ahead and plug Hayden Hurst in there as well.
Gotcha. Yep, I'm on board. This is should be a very fantasy friendly game as well. So if you got the players, fire them up. All right, we actually got a question here. This is from Teddy. All right, Darrell Henderson or Joshua Kelly in a non-PPR?
Darrell Henderson or Josh Kelly in a non-PPR. I don't think that both of these guys will score. Non-PPR, you always want to know who's going to be able to punch one inside the end zone. I think maybe Henderson has like a better approach at punching one in from the goal line other than Kelly, but I think these guys are going to have like a similar stat line. They're going to work with multiple I think less than 10 like touches in a game. I'm slightly leaning towards Henderson in this one over Kelly.
Honestly, I'm on the fence here. I mean, for the same reasons that you mentioned. Henderson is going against the Chicago Bears tomorrow, Monday Night Football in LA. Kelly has pretty sure they're going against Jacksonville here. But I know Justin Jackson definitely gonna have a bulk of the carries there. They like that guy a lot. Honestly, I'm leaning slightly towards Kelly, and I think it's just because it might be easier for that offense to move the ball against Jacksonville, and him having more opportunities to punch it in if he's in the game, just because of the matchup base. But like you said, I feel like the margin between the two is very similar here. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm going just based on matchup based for this scenario.
Gotcha. I see that they definitely do have the easier matchup of the two.
Yep. So, all right. Appreciate the question, Teddy. Hopefully, we're able to help you make a decision there. All right. With that being said, hey, we're gonna go to a matchup that's near and dear to your heart, Deshaun. Pittsburgh at Tennessee. I'm gonna definitely let you have Pittsburgh here.
Okay, so man, big game. Again, I know we talked a little bit about it offline, and I'm like, man, why did they not flex this game to primetime TV? This is must-see TV here, bro. You know what I mean? So like, it's two teams that are actually competing. That both teams at this point have Super Bowl aspirations. So both teams are very, very solid up on both sides of the football. That Pittsburgh deep, will they be able to contain that man in that backfield who has just been a absolute terror and a nightmare for every team that he's faced? That is the big thing about this game. I think that's like the huge implication from a regular football standpoint, but from a fantasy football standpoint, like, let's talk about Juju Smith-Schuster. I feel like he has taken a back seat, to be completely honest, to Chase Claypool. The targets have decreased every game that he has played with Chase, and Chase's has increased a little bit. Now, again, you got to think, I think they get Deontay Johnson back for this matchup as well, so it'll be a little bit more difficult for Big Ben to go ahead and target Juju in this game. Now, again, I'm rooting for Juju. I want him to be fantasy relevant again, but at this time, I can't play him. History shows that I cannot play him right now and expect a big game out of him during this big game. Again, we're on the road. You know what I mean? We're at Tennessee. Will we get road Ben here? Road Ben and home Ben has been two different Bens. I think Ben will be solid in this game, solid enough to warrant a back end QB1, definitely high end QB2. For those who have two quarterback leagues, Connor should be great. Claypool with the targets that he's been getting, and he's been getting like jet sweep plays, and like he's been absolutely phenomenal. So tip your hat to the Steelers organization. It just seems like they know what they're doing when they drafting wide receivers. So and again, I believe we do get Deontay Johnson back. Again, I like to take the wait and see approach with any player coming back from an injury, just to see how the injury would hold up.
Facts. And I saw a graphic on Facebook. I think it was yesterday, and it was comparing the physique and the ability and the speed of Chase Claypool to the one and only Calvin Johnson.
That is unfair. Unfair for them to do that. Calvin Johnson is like one of my favorite wide receivers of all time. The dude, his name was Megatron for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? So it's like that is tough for a guy, but Claypool has been like amazing for us, and we get that tall, strong wide receiver that Ben's been wanting for a very long time.
Yeah, and like you said, Pittsburgh definitely knows how to pick wide receivers. I mean, sheesh. All right, so Tennessee. So this is interesting for everything across the board here. So Ryan Tannehill has been balling out fantasy-wise. He, like the whole Titan resurrection. Apparently it's a real thing. It's a real thing, and I know Pittsburgh is a tough matchup. So, you're at odds, right? Like, do I play Ryan Tannehill that's been playing well?
Still got to play him, man.
Yeah.
You still have to play that guy, man.
You do. Just because of recent history, his evidence that he gets it done. And so you play him. You play him with confidence. That's what you do. You don't waver about it. You're going to play that guy. And I feel like a lot of his success is going to be the next dude I talk about, Derrick Henry. Ooh. I call him the monster amongst men. That's what he is. And, this is probably the key matchup in the game.
Absolutely.
Without Devin Bush. So it's like, is Derrick Henry going to run through the middle of that Steelers defense and get the yards, is he gonna have another field day? Is he gonna be contained? Regardless, you're gonna play the guy, but I can see both scenarios happening. I can see your Steelers team rallying together and make a concerted effort to try to contain this guy, and I can also see him getting loose on a couple of times and definitely make their fantasy owners very happy. So either way, you playing Derrick Henry, he is RB1 in my opinion.
Oh, easy.
Yeah. AJ Brown, I'm playing him. Yep. I know your secondary is really good, but AJ Brown, that dude's a beast. Like, sheesh. I watched that game last week. I saw that game tying touchdown. This dude's a monster.
Yes, he is.
And so you're playing him. Jonnu Smith is yep. That's a sure thing. So basically you're playing the guys, your normal guys in this game, tough matchup, maybe for either you're still playing them.
Yep.
And I guess just from an overall standpoint, it's gonna be a great game to watch. So definitely check that one out.
Agreed.
All right. So we have Green Bay at Houston. Honestly, I don't know which one to take here.
I'll make it easy for you. I know you don't like to touch Green Bay, so I get that. Bear down. All right, so Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna definitely play Aaron Rodgers in this game. They get Devontae Adams in this game, so definitely look for that connection. It's gonna be a high scoring affair, so Devontae Adams should have a strong win in this one. So Jamal Williams. So if Aaron Jones does not suit up in this one, Jamal Williams is a great play. Again, I think he'll split some time with AJ Dillon, who has been very solid for them, and head coach likes him a lot. Outside of that, let's see, tight end position. Tyen is there, but again, you definitely want to monitor how he's going to play with Devontae Adams as well. I don't think he's a must start this week, but maybe in deeper leagues or something like that, he can be serviceable. And no, I use the term serviceable, and I think that's all you're going to be able to get out of him. Outside of those guys that I named, not too many others I would take a chance on.
Understood. All right, so I feel like this is just from a football standpoint. This is probably a trap game for the Green Bay Packers. Um, Houston has been playing a lot better ever since Bill O'Brien's been let go. Houston should have won that game last week.
Yep.
But that's neither here nor there right now. Deshaun Watson, he's one of the few I would not, bet against. I know Aaron Rodgers is another one. But I feel like Deshaun Watson is definitely going to get up for this game, especially against that subpar defense of Green Bay. So he's definitely a top 5 player, in my opinion, today. David Johnson, I know he hasn't, really been, excellent since week 1.
This should be the game.
This is it. This is your benchmark. This is how you're gonna rate David Johnson going forward for the rest of the year. If he cannot take advantage against the worst run defense for opposing fantasy running backs right now, if he cannot take advantage of that, then you know where your allegiance stand with him right now. Wide receivers, I love Will Fuller. I love Brandon Cooks.
Yep.
Even Randall Cobb can get in there. Like the pass catchers, even the tight end Fells. Like I like them all. This has shootout written all over it. It does. Just like the other games. This is very, very fantasy friendly.
Agreed.
And I think this is actually may actually be a better football game as well. So if you got him playing them, I have Brandon Cooks in a couple leagues. He is my wide receiver 2 today, and for certain instances, I'm playing him. So, all right. So we're gonna get to Tampa at Las Vegas. All right. So I feel like this is a trap game as well for Tampa because the Raiders, I feel like they are a real team and they play really well at home. And I feel like John Gruden really, maybe wants some payback. Just saying. But all right, Brady, you're still playing him though. You're playing Brady without a doubt. I know the running back situation is interesting. I'm going with Ronald Jones. That's the guy that you want in your lineup. Fournette, I mean, I know he'll play, but I feel like they're gonna ride with Ronald Jones. He's definitely, taking advantage of, the time that was missed, and he's definitely been very productive. Pass catchers. I feel like it should be multiple touchdowns scored. I feel like it's going to be at least 3 touchdown scores by wide receivers here. So either 2 for Evans or 1 for Godwin or vice versa. I feel like they should definitely see Pater multiple times here. Even Grunk is definitely playable now. He is. He showed up last week, and with the injuries and the COVID and the bye weeks, he is definitely a viable play today. So go out and play.
I think Gronk has 6 targets in the past 3 weeks. So his targets have been, and this is with all of those guys inside the lineup, Godwin and Evans inside the lineup. So
yeah, so play him.
Yep. So for the Las Vegas side, so you're definitely, I think Las Vegas is coming off of a bye week, right? Because they had the game which they played Kansas City, and did they beat Kansas City in that game?
They did.
Yeah. Oh wow, they beat Kansas City in that game. So who was a huge part of that? Henry Ruggs. Finally, we had a chance to see that guy hit the end zone. And he used every bit of that for 4.2 speed or something like that. It's something crazy. So Henry Ruggs, I like him in this game. Darren Waller, you get him back as well. I know these guys have been on the bye. Derek Carr, another one, pretty good fantasy implications. And Josh Jacobs, play him. Those are going to be the guys who you're going to play.
Yep. Even if Josh Jacobs has a quote unquote tough match today, you still playing him.
Yep, have to.
Yep. All right. Get into our last matchup for Sunday's game. Seattle at Arizona.
This is my second favorite game of obviously the Steelers is
right
number one. But dude, from a football perspective, we get to see 2 good quarterbacks up in this one, man. Of a savvy veteran and an up and coming QB.
Absolutely. Both teams have playoff aspirations. Obviously, Seattle, I feel like they're the best team in NFC right now. They are undefeated still. Russell Wilson, said it, forget it. Chris Carson, I feel like he has RB1 upside this week. Said and forget it. Lockett, Metcalf. I think they are the best fantasy duo this year so far. So, yeah, you playing them without question. Even Greg Olsen, because Arizona is terrible against tight ends. So Greg Olsen is I feel like is an interesting play, especially in DFS tournament play. So, yep, basically anybody from Seattle you're playing, point blank period.
No, man, I agree wholeheartedly here. So looking for the Arizona side, so I believe Seattle's secondary is just historically like terrible. So I look for a game in which DeAndre Hopkins. So we all know that he did not find pay dirt last week. He had one big play, I think, like a 60-yard pass. But the crazy thing about this game was that Kyler Murray only completed 9 passes last week. Nine passes, but one went for 80 yards, one went for 60 yards. So this guy is still out there doing it with his legs. That's where he's going to give you all of his, pretty much all, if not, like maybe 60% of his fantasy value is going to come from his running ability there. That's why you drafted a guy like Kyler Murray. So I think Kyler Murray sits atop the quarterbacks for scoring. Like right now, I think he's number 1 overall in scoring. I'm gonna have to double check that stat, but this guy is a guy. Despite the matchup, you're definitely gonna play him. You're gonna play his main guy, which is DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk gets a nod in this one, considering how terrible that Seattle secondary is. Man, we've been waiting on Kenyon Drake. At this point, I really don't know what to do with him. A lot of guys drafted him to be an RB1, which is kind of tough right now at this, at this juncture. So I don't know. Do you what do you think? You are a Kenyon Drake owner. Are you playing Kenyon Drake?
I'm not, and that's only because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why here in a second, and that's only because I have Alvin Kamara, Mike Davis, and Antonio Gibson.
Oh wow, okay.
So I have the luxury to do that, but if you don't, I would flex him. I think he's worth for flex consideration.
Okay, okay.
I think he scored last week too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, he did, but it's like we're just waiting on like that signal.
In fact, he scored twice. Yeah,
did he really?
Yeah, matter of fact, last week I would consider that such a game because he had that late touchdown. He was like a 64-yard run for a touchdown. He broke out.
Okay,
so he definitely had the best fantasy game of his of this season. And granted, I feel like everybody turns up against the Cowboys. So, but I feel like Kenyon Drake. I feel like he's definitely at worst is a flex consideration today.
Okay. That's fair. I'll definitely give you that. So, you're gonna play Murray, you're gonna play Hopkins, you're gonna play Kirk as a like a low end flex. So he's just more so of that boom or bust play, and we've seen that 1 catch, 80 yard score, boom. That's what he's gonna give you.
Let me ask you this though, with Seattle's pass defense being so suspect, Larry Fitzgerald.
You know what? My motto in fantasy football is consistency. Consistency is key. Targets are key. He has none. He has none of the two. I'm quite sure that there's better options out there than Larry Fitzgerald this week.
Okay, fair enough. Right. Before we get into a quick preview of Thursday's matchup, just want to see if I can mention a couple of things. Cowboys at the football team. Gibson, I'm playing McLaurin. That's about it for Washington. Cowboys, you playing those guys as well. one fantasy friendly game I definitely didn't have a chance to throw in the lineup, and that's Jacksonville at the Chargers.
Okay.
And Justin Herbert has top 5 quarterback written all over him today against that team. Justin Jackson has humongous upside today. Keenan, basically the whole
team
by far. And there's a report that on the other side that Gardner Minshew might get benched if he continues to play this bad. Yeah.
For who though?
That's I don't know because
oh wow.
Because it feels like the Jacksonville roster is nothing but mannequins at this point. There's nothing really under them clothes. So,
mannequins, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, James Robinson, you're playing DJ Shark, but I feel like that has, good implications. And then the Monday night game, the Bears at the Rams, which I feel like that's going to be more of a dogfight than a fantasy friendly fight. So,
agreed.
I mean, if you got A-Rob, you're still playing him regardless.
Right.
I don't care if Jalen Ramsey there or not. Matter of fact, former teammates, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, were they? Was he in Jacksonville then when A-Rob was there?
I'm pretty sure. And I'm pretty sure they had to match up against each other in practice. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So yeah, that'd be interesting. But yeah, the pass catchers on the Rams side, definitely not a good looks. Just saying. But yeah, all right. So just really quick, since we don't have another pod until next Sunday, Atlanta at Carolina. Just a general view. I like everybody. I like them all, from Matt Ryan to Teddy, from Gurley to Mike Davis. If Christian McCaffrey's not back by then, if Christian McCaffrey playing, then good luck, Atlanta. Wide receivers across the board. Yeah, what's your thoughts?
Man, I like them. I like them both. DJ Moore has been coming on slowly but surely, but the wide receiver here that I like, Robbie Anderson, man, he's been that model of consistency for the Carolina offense, man. And from a fantasy perspective, he's been like just straight up awesome. It's like that's like a guy, like he's in my flex, and I haven't even looked to another option in my flex, and he has been there for like the past 5 weeks, and like he has just been just awesome. I feel like he's like another what's the guy up in the Jets, Jamison Crowder. Like those guys have just been just like the model of consistency for fantasy football. Like 2 key pickups for me has been both of those guys. They've been tremendous. And lineup, you're you're pretty much going to play everybody in this one. You know what I mean? And this is both fantasy friendly, and it's just a good football game. Thursday night games have been like trash. I mean, we all like know that, but this is a fantasy, both a fantasy game and a real game that I would like to see Thursday night.
Yeah, and the fact there's a division game makes that much better. Right. So yeah, that's about it for that. Is there anything else that you got on your mind that we didn't cover?
Still a Nation. Here we go.
Okay, I see you. And, just for that, my guy Khalil back there, bear down Monday Night Football. Let's actually gain the rest of the respect across the nation. A lot of teams don't respect us right now, but
Bears are 5-1, right?
Yep.
Man, how do you feel about that?
I love it. And just because we're not playing our best football on offense yet, it's getting better. It's progressively getting better.
Okay.
And so defense has been great. Our rookie, Jalen Johnson, the corner, he's been
great. My eye is on that guy, man. He has been – he might be something. We'll see.
I think so. And, he's second in the league. And as far as opposing completion percentage when target, it's like 40-some%. Number 1 is Kyle Fuller. So I love our tandem right now. So yeah. But yeah, this is I guess this is the end of our podcast today. Check out our shop at the destinationfantasy.com. We have apparel for your favorite teams, your favorite players. Also, support the brand. We got hoodies, we got shirts, we got joggers. Eventually, we're gonna have hats. I mean, we definitely appreciate all the support we've been getting thus far. We even updated the Bucks hoodie with Antonio Brown on it now. So definitely go get it. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, which we're live on right now. We're also on Instagram and Snapchat. And our podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from, we're there, from Apple to Spotify to Google, you name it, we are there. So once again, we appreciate all the support. And that concludes today. So for Deshaun, I'm Jamar. Good luck in your matchups today. Feel free to reach out to us. And all right, until next time, deuces.
Peace.